The long-awaited 2.0 update for Stalker 2 has finally released, and so far, first impressions are very, very strong. For those who haven't been keeping track, the 2.0 update for Stalker promised a big visual overhaul, a performance overhaul, a bunch of updates to the A-Life system. There's a customizable difficulty now. We finally get binoculars, which is fantastic, thank God. New weapons and scopes to use is always great. Fog, the new PDA page for statistics, which is really, really nice. That was, I do believe, something that was in the older Stalker games, definitely. And we also got, very, very good, the new Zone kit, which is the official modding tool for Stalker 2, has gotten, like, a major update. They say that narrative scripting, audio localization are all working together. You can write and localize complete story mods now. That's very, very cool. And yeah, no, this whole update is free for anybody who has Stalker 2. This, you don't have to buy the Cost of Hope DLC to get this, which is really nice. The most immediately noticeable part is obviously the visuals. They've gotten pretty much a complete overhaul. Everything from the flora to the lighting and everything has been completely overhauled. It's a little easier to see in some areas. It's a little more difficult to see in others. For the most part, the visual overhaul is fantastic. There are a couple of negatives here and there. It looks like the fallback reflections for the screen space reflections, which would be the ray trace ones, are very, very low poly. I would assume this is in an effort to save on performance, but it does not look good. And then on some interior spaces, there's this very, very strange, almost seemingly like this dust filter that's overlaid. In only some spaces, though. It's strange. Some spaces look very, very good, and others just have this weird haze effect that kind of hangs around. I'm not sure if that's something that was intentional or not, so I guess we'll see. But for the most part, the visual overhaul is fantastic. The fog in particular is something I did not realize I was missing that much from my initial playthrough of this game last year, but wow, it makes a massive difference even at like early areas in this game that you've played before many times. Just look at this windmill here. The part of the update that most Stalker fans are probably the most concerned with are the A-Life updates. So far, after about 5 hours, I'm happy to say that it does seem like it's improved greatly. The simulation does seem to be working. Whenever stalkers come in, no matter if I've seen them before or not, I've tried to trade with them. It seems like they've been picking up items from other fights that didn't occur when I was around, so that's nice. It is also really great that they loot. I've seen creatures eating stalker corpses so far. I've seen bandits, stalkers, and all that looting the corpses of the dead. So far, A-Life seems like a massive improvement. Overall, the world just feels so much more alive than it did prior to this update. And I know that A-Life has been trending in a good direction for a while now, but in particular, the 2.0 update feels a lot better than 1.7 did whenever things started to really shift. Besides the A-Life updates, my favorite part of this update is the customizable experience now. I guess you'd call it customizable difficulty. But you've got everything from disabling tutorials, expedition mode, which forces the game to only autosave and save on exit, so it's essentially an Iron Man mode. You can customize the economy to make loot more scarce, which is nice. That's something that a lot of Stalker fans have been talking about. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still an abundance of loot in the zone. It's not a post-apocalyptic setting. The zone does exist inside of, you know, the modern day world. So it, in my opinion anyway, it really wouldn't make sense for things to be scarce in the zone, but I digress. You can have a little more control over that customization now, which is great. Options are always good. The new PDA page to track your progress is pretty darn cool. It might not seem like it's a big deal, but for anybody who's, you know, playing Stalker for an immersive experience, which I would assume is the vast majority of people, it's just nice to have a page that you can look at and see, you know, what have I done? Like how have I actually left my mark in the zone? It's a solid little feature, and just glad that, you know, even after launch a year out, GSC is still adding features like this to the game, which is just fantastic. There is a lot more to the update, and obviously the DLC launched today as well. But if you were looking for a reason to jump back in, or you've been on the fence about buying the game until it's in a good state, now is looking like a pretty decent time to get in. Stalker 2 is definitely in the best state that it's ever been in. And yeah, hopefully the DLC is just as good as this update. Or better.